At the beginning of the film, we see a family of Americans who have recently moved to London: Ben, Louise, and their 12-year-old daughter Agnes, on holiday in Italy. Ben, who has lost his job, is angry at the whole world. He is infuriated by his wife's overprotective behavior towards their daughter, who is prone to tantrums. At the hotel, they meet Patrick and Sierra Field. Their son, Ant, suffers from short tongue syndrome and cannot speak. He has difficulty communicating, but with Agnes, they quickly find common language. Patrick charms everyone with his easygoing manner. They have fun together. After their holiday, London has greeted them with torrential rain. The family is sad because the head of the family hasn't got a job in London. Almost immediately, an invitation arrives from the Fields to visit their farm in Devon. The cozy farmhouse is bursting with drinks and hearty food, and the owners seem very hospitable. As Ben goes out to take out the rubbish, he sees Ant trying to say something, but his father tells him to go to bed. Louise and Agnes are impressed by the peace and quiet of the secluded farm. Only the strange habits of the owners and the evening howls of their sick son are a little disturbing, but the guests try to ignore it. A marvelous morning walk, a fire-making show, and a cold swim leave Londoners delighted. Only Louise is uncomfortable, and the owner's son doesn't seem particularly happy either. But Patrick and Sierra are so calm and invite the guests to dinner at Mate Mike's place on the seaside. The posh dinner is accompanied by the Fields' not entirely inappropriate revelations about their intimate lives, leaving the guests confused. At the farm, Ant shows Agnes the marks of wounds on his body. Back home, Louise and Ben have a loud quarrel. Long-standing grudges come out. In the middle of the night, Louise wakes up and goes to check on her daughter, who has been put in the same room as the owner's son. However, the children's beds are empty. Terrified, she wanders around the big house and finally finds her daughter in the Fields' bedroom, sleeping with them, in the same bed. She quietly takes Agnes away and demands from her husband to leave the place. Early in the morning, while the owners are still asleep, they leave the farm. Ant observes them through the window. During the journey, Agnes throws a tantrum over a forgotten toy, the rabbit Hoppy, to which she is painfully attached. Ben gets very angry, and they almost collide with a lorry. The family turns around and drive back. Ben goes off to look for a toy, while Louise and Agnes stay waiting for him in the car. The wait drags on, and Louise follows him. At the house, she catches a clash. The Fields are unhappy that the guests left in English. Ben tries to justify himself, but it comes out badly. Louise then speaks frankly about what exactly she didn't like. Sierra explains that when she heard Agnes crying, she couldn't do anything and brought her to the family bed. Not too long ago, they experienced the loss of a baby daughter. Apparently, this influenced her decision. After all, the girl's parents were not there to help her. Ant has found a toy, and Agnes begs her parents to look at the chickens. They are forced to give in and stay. Playing with his new friend, Ant tries to tell her something, and even shows her a note. But she doesn't understand his scribbles. Seeing his mother heading towards them, the boy quickly crumples up the paper and puts it in his mouth. Soon the men go hunting, and the women stay on the farm. Agnes tells her mother about the note, claiming that something is wrong with Ant, but Louise thinks it's all child's play. On the hunt, the men have a frank discussion about Agnes and Ben's quarrel at night. Patrick shows his friend the practice of getting rid of negativity. The two of them shout as hard as they can in a deserted field, letting off steam. At the house, the women are preparing dinner. Louise badly wounds her hand with a knife, and Ben asks Patrick to have a look, because he is a doctor. But he suddenly confesses that he has deceived them. He isn't a doctor. He and Sierra live off the income from selling produce from the farm. Seeing the astonished faces of the guests, the strange couple start laughing and confess that it was a prank. Louise and Ben are discouraged again. At dinner, a new incident occurs. Sierra makes remarks to Agnes, and Louise doesn't like it. Patrick resolves the situation by urging everyone to mutually apologize. The children then perform the dance they learnt the day before. The funny scene is interrupted by a suddenly enraged Patrick, who lashes out at his son for not being in rhythm. The guests are stunned by this outburst of anger, disproportionate to what is happening. In the end, Agnes is badly frightened, and Louise again asks her husband to leave. He brews coffee to sober up, as they all drank a lot at dinner. Patrick goes inside the house and falls asleep on the bed. Sierra begs Louise not to leave without saying goodbye to the head of the family. She hints that it would be best for everyone, especially her and Aunt. Taking advantage of his father's unconscious state, the boy steals the keys from him and leads Agnes to a secret cellar where many things are kept: watches, telephones, clothes of different sizes. It all looks ominous. And then there's an album with pictures of different people in the company of smiling hosts. They were all guests at the farm. The girl is horrified. She begins to realize exactly what awaits them here. In one of the photos is Ant himself, at a slightly younger age than he is now. He's with his tongue out. With a gesture, the boy shows that his tongue has been cut off. Agnes panics. When Ant returns to return the keys, he sees that his father is already awake, but he manages to divert his parents' attention and cleverly clips the keys to his belt. Agnes fakes her period by pricking herself with a thorn in order to take her mother to the bathroom on this pretext, and there she shows her the pictures she has taken in the cellar. Ant, meanwhile, distracts his father by playing ball with him. Louise is in a complete panic at what she sees. Calling Ben under a plausible pretense, she tells him everything. Now the family is aware of what is going on at the creepy farm, but Patrick also begins to suspect something. Armed with a painting knife, the frightened guests leave the bathroom, where they discussed ways to escape from the ominous farm. They try to behave as usual, but it doesn't work out well, and the hosts seem to be dragging their feet on purpose, throwing up new obstacles to their departure. The owner's Tesla has a flat tire, and Agnes' beloved rabbit is high up on the roof. Ben climbs up after him, while Patrick sways the ladder and observes the reaction of the guests. Finally, it seems to be possible to drive. Tension reaches its limit, but the family is already in the car, and the gate opens safely. At the last moment, the girl screams. Patrick throws his son, who can't swim, into the pond. Ben, unable to stand it, jumps out of the car. Louise gets behind the wheel, but the gate closes in her face. When Ben comes out from the water with the boy in his arms, he sees what he feared: his wife and son held by the hair at gunpoint. In the garage, they are forced to transfer a large sum of money and send messages to friends and family that they are leaving London, without direction. Patrick mocks them, calling them stupid people, ready to give up their lives without a fight. He fills a syringe, explaining that he will inject the girl with a veterinary medication to keep her still. Suddenly, a distraught Louise finds a painting knife in her pocket and pounces on him, stabbing him in the face. After this successful attack, she snatches the gun from Sierra and shoots. The bullets fly past, but the family manages to escape from the garage with the boy, locking the owners in. Sierra begs them to take her too, but they don't believe her. They run to the car and are ready to leave, even if they have to break down the flimsy gate. But another car is coming towards them. Michael, the cook neighbor from the coast, has come to help. They've got a whole crime ring going on here, that's for sure. A rival shoots at the car, and the family runs into the house to take cover and call the police. Michael lets the owners out of the garage and says this has gone too far. This is not what he signed up for. Patrick informs him that he's in on it now too, since the guests have seen his face. At the house, the family barricades themselves in, closing the shutters and propping the entrance with a cupboard. They try to call the emergency services, but Sierra cuts the wire. Ben becomes hysterical, but Louise brings him to his senses, reminding him that no one can help their daughter but themselves. And that's when the lights go out. Patrick jokes around again, cranking up the music in the car and yelling something in the yard. Ben, by the light of his phone, looks at a picture of the farm and suggests lighting the thatched roof of the barn. Perhaps someone will see the fire and come to help. Opening a window, Ben throws a lit rag doused with Calvados, but they are shot at. Eventually, he misses, and Patrick's car catches fire instead of the roof. Ben and Louise hide the children in a cupboard and search around the house for something to defend themselves with. Meanwhile, Patrick's car explodes in the yard. Michael climbs onto the roof to get into the house through the attic. Sierra sneaks in through the basement and Patrick enters by breaking the back door. Ben goes to the attic armed with a hammer, while Louise tries to keep her spirits up and prepares household acid and knives. Patrick tries to push back the cupboard and break into the room, and Louise stabs him in the arm with a meat fork. She herself escapes into another room. Kiara and Patrick play a deadly game of hide and seek, looking for their victims around the house. Michael does the same, coming down from upstairs. Patrick finds the children in the bathroom locker, but Louise pounces on him, throwing acid on him. She and the kids run away. While Sierra tries to help her husband squirming in pain, Michael shoots at Louise, but misses. Ben rushes at him with a hammer, but Michael is much stronger. He tries to shred Ben's face with a shard of mirror. Louise runs in just in time and ends his life with the hammer. In the bathroom, Sierra pours water on her husband. After regaining consciousness, he sends her away to deal with the guests. Meanwhile, the family takes the car keys from Michael and tries to escape from the house through the attic using the extension ladder. Kiara climbs out next, aiming for them. Louise hits her in the head, and she falls off the roof, crashing and dropping the ladder. Now the four of them can't get down. With only one option left, Ben jumps off the roof onto Sierra's body. He is badly bruised, but survives and brings his family and aunt down the stairs. Patrick hears Kiara's death scream. He takes Agnes hostage. Now she will be his girl instead of his dead wife. But the girl manages to stick a syringe with a substance into his arm. They wanted to knock her out in the garage, and the syringe was accidentally in her pocket when they were running away. As Patrick loses consciousness, his son takes his life, turning his face into a mess in front of the shocked family. In complete shock and in tears, they all drive down the night road away from this gruesome nightmare. This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.